This kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream?
Is actually your sleep. Your sleep is the most important factor in your performance, but one of the things that I found as a sports psychologist is that it's often the most overlooked variable. That too often, many people pay a lot of attention to their lifting, to their running, to other aspects of their training, but they don't actually pay attention to their sleep. In fact, according to SleepMD, a third of Americans struggle with insomnia. And so many athletes get fewer hours of sleep than they actually need to recover from the hard physical conditioning that they're doing. This is especially true for a college athlete. You see, many athletes on Saturday nights might stay up later than their typical sleep schedule. That's a huge problem because one of the most important nights of sleep after a competition is that very night. You've expended so much energy in the game and now your body's got to recoup. But if you stay up beyond your normal sleep time that particular night, what can happen is the next day you're going to feel sluggish, and it's actually going to take you 3 nights of regular, consistent sleep before you actually start to feel better. So your Sunday is not going to be as productive studying, and your Monday and Tuesday practice might not be at the level that they should be. Avoid a common trap of staying up late after a Saturday night's game. Get that good night's sleep.
Permanently if you let it.
Get your better performance.
What sport do you play?
Tennis.
How many hours of sleep would you say you get on an average night?
7.
Okay. Would you say that you sleep more before an athletic event?
Yeah, probably.
How many hours would you say you sleep before an athletic event?
Probably 8.
Are you aware of what sleep debt is?
No, what is that?
Sleep debt is the cumulative effect of not getting enough sleep over a period of time. So basically, if you don't get enough sleep for several days in a row, you'll build up a debt as in a lack of sleep. And sleeping an extra amount of hours before an event will help reduce that debt, but you will still have several hours left over that you need to make up. So you'll still be more tired than you should be had you had no sleep debt. Now, do you think this will affect the way that you sleep, particularly before an event?
Yeah, I'll probably start sleeping more now.
What sport do you play?
Basketball.
How many hours of sleep would you say you get on average night?
Usually about 7.
Now, would you get more sleep before an athletic event?
Yeah, I usually get more like 9 before a basketball game.
Now, are you aware of what sleep debt is?
I know what it is, but how does it work?
Sleep debt builds up as you don't get enough sleep, which is usually about 8 hours per night. So, with that extra hour of sleep you're getting before games, it helps, but your debt could be great enough to the point where it doesn't actually erase the total debt, and your athletic performance may still be inhibited. Now, would you say that changes the way you're going to sleep before games?
Definitely, I would like to get more sleep before a game, now that I know what you have said.
What sport do you play?
Golf.
Okay, how many hours of sleep do you usually get per night?
Probably 7.
Okay, would you say you get more sleep before a golf tournament?
Yeah, I probably get 8 hours.
And golf, obviously, focusing around concentration, would you believe that you have a higher level of concentration after you get this extra hour of sleep?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I definitely play better after I get more sleep.
What if I told you that you could have more concentration because of the way you sleep?
So you'd be lying.
Well, the way sleep debt works is the cumulative effect of not getting enough sleep. So actually, if you only get 7 hours of sleep per night, you start to build up a sleep debt, and if you actually slept a full 8 hours of sleep several days in advance before your golf tournament, you have no sleep debt, and you can have a pinnacle level of concentration. Now, do you think you would be willing to change your sleeping habits based off what you know now?
Yeah, of course.
Now, what sport do you play?
I wrestle.
And on average, how many hours of sleep would you say you get per night?
About 8 hours a night.
Okay, and
Do you usually sleep an extra amount before an athletic event?
Like the night before?
Yes.
I try to.
So you are aware of the effects of sleep debt?
Actually, yeah.
Okay, now can you describe that to me and how that affects athletic performance?
So, the more I sleep, the better I tend to feel. Because I'm going to catch up on a little sleep that lasts me. And usually that's on weekends, so I catch up with my sleep. And feel better.
So you're saying you're reducing your sleep debt in order to improve your athletic performance?
Sure.
So would you advocate sleeping at least 8 hours for several nights before an athletic event in order to play at the pinnacle of your performance? What sport do you play?
I play tennis.
Okay, now you obviously know that it's a good idea to get lots of sleep before an event, right?
Obviously.
What if I told you that it is equally important to get enough sleep after an event?
I'll usually go out and party after games.
So you don't get that sleep after an event?
Usually not.
Okay, what if I told you that it takes 3 full nights of 8 hours of sleep to catch up after not sleeping after a big event?
It's crazy.
So do you think you will be getting more sleep after your games as well as beforehand?
I'll definitely try to get more sleep. It'll improve my game.
What sport do you play?
Football.
Okay, now you obviously try and get a lot of sleep before an event, right?
Absolutely. I try to get the maximum amount of sleep possible.
What if I told you that it's equally, if not more important, to get sleep after the game?
I would say that you are pulling my leg.
Well, what do you usually do after a big game, after a big win?
Typically I go out, hit the library for a couple hours, and then hit the fraternity sorority scene.
So you party after the game and you lose a bit of sleep.
That's another way to put it.
Okay, what if I told you it takes 3 full nights of 8 hours of sleep to catch up if you lose that one night of sleep?
I would say that you just taught me a very valuable lesson.
So do you think you'll be getting more sleep after the game as well as beforehand?
Yes. What's your name?
Renard.
What sport do you play?
I'm on the football team.
What position?
I'm a long snapper.
Have you found that there's a difference, obviously with long snapping being a muscle memory position, have you found that there's a significant difference in your performance in games when you get a lot of sleep versus when you get little sleep?
Oh, definitely. I remember one particular game when we went to UCLA and I lost. I didn't get too good a sleep that night, and well, I'm sure you'll see in this clip. It didn't go too well.
Is there a particular performance where you played extraordinary and you could attribute that to something?
I would say I played exceptionally well after I got a lot of sleep before the Rose Bowl. You know, I was confident, so I was like, you know, I'm going to sleep well tonight, and it's going to work out tomorrow, and it did.
Let's take a look and see.
Webster's Dictionary describes champion as one who shows marked superiority. In the Pac-12, we describe champion as Stanford. Touchdown, Stanford. At every memorable turn, the Cardinals soared to new heights and etched itself into national prominence.
Stanford shocks the college football world. Oh, my! Williamson's kick is on the way, and it is good! Stanford, the Pac-12 champions. Stanford pours onto the field. That's our charge now, is to take this victory, celebrate it, but get ready to buck up and play better next year.
Now as the page turns on a new season, the Cardinal look to continue its dominance. Championships are won in the fall, but the foundation is laid
In sleep.